I'll show you how it's done. Shazam!
Hey, what's going on, YouTube world? Welcome to our channel, Underdeveloped, where we review movies and shows and eventually books and games and all that good shit we have planned for this year. I'm saying we because usually two of us, me and Nick, but this movie I saw with a different friend of mine's, someone who I work in the industry with, the film industry, and she's currently incapacitated at the moment. Well, really just came out of a slumber. So she's not in any space to do the review with me, and I'm trying to do this now because we have a bunch of other videos to film. So sorry, Tania. All good. Next time. Yeah. So Nick didn't see this one, but I heavily do suggest that he do watch this because this film is already going to be one of the best films of the year for sure. Okay, so we are reviewing One of Them Days, the first film I've watched for this year so far. A lot more to watch this month, but start off with this one, and I feel we start off to a great one because January movies in particular usually fall flat because it's cold. You know what I mean? Who really wants to go to the theater? So they usually dump their junk in January. But this is a gem. This is a January gem. Truly, this is a strong start to the year. This movie is directed by Lawrence Lamont. This is pretty much his first debut. He directed a few episodes of the show called Rap Shit. He also did a couple music videos, most notably, being a J. Cole fan, he did Get Off My Dick, GOMD. It's a great video, great conceptual aspect to it. So, yeah, this is his directorial debut. And this is written by Syreeta Singleton. Syreeta Singleton hasn't really wrote much outside of a few episodes of Insecure. Makes sense because the producer of this is none other than Issa Rae, legend. She wrote this show called Insecure. If you don't know it, then I don't know what you're doing. Even if you don't watch it, you should know it. It's one of the biggest shows of the last decade. So, as I said, One of Them Days is a buddy comedy, even if you want to say female buddy comedy, but buddy comedies. The two buddies in question is SZA and Keke Palmer. Keke plays Dreux with an EUX, not a EW. SZA plays Alyssa. And they're these two best friends / roommates. They live together. And SZA is in a bit of a pickle. She is completely dickmatized by the man in her life named Keshawn, who pretty much just lives off of her, takes advantage, you know what I mean? Has her, you know, as I said, dickmatized. So basically, in the midst of all this, Keke says, hey, here's $1,500 to give to our landlord. Make sure he gets the money so we can live here, right? And so SZA takes it and decides, hey, I'm gonna trust this into this man in my life, my boyfriend, I guess, to pay this man. And of course he doesn't. He used the money to invest in his clothing line and essentially ghosts them for the entire day, which leads Keke and SZA in a whole set of misadventures to find the money so they can pay this landlord, because they have until 6 o'clock, 6:30 to pay it off, and if they don't, then they're on their ass that same day. And also on top of that, Keke is a waitress at this fast food franchise place, and she has an interview so she can move up and become a franchise manager, and you know, hopefully get some more money so they can be in a better situation. So that's at 4, so they have even less time. So it's a lot of things working against them. And then for some reason, their misadventures go to the point where they end up in the vicinity of a notorious criminal drug dealer, King Lolo. Yeah. Which then leads them to have now to evade not only getting evicted, but potential death. And that's for something. You have to watch the movie to get those specific details. But that's essentially the movie. It's essentially Friday. You know what I mean? Friday is essentially Craig and Day. Not roommates, but they best buds. And so, well, not Day. That's the second one. So it's like Friday. I'm gonna read it. Yeah. So there's no real secret that this movie resembles Friday a lot. That's a buddy comedy, but instead of SZA and Keke, you have Ice Cube and Chris Tucker as Day and Smokey. not Day. Day is fucking Craig. So you have let's just cut on that. You have instead of having SZA and Keke, you have Chris Tucker and Ice Cube playing Smokey and Craig. So Smokey in that movie, Smokey is a drug dealer and he smokes up all the goddamn product, which leads him to own Big Worm a bunch of money that he has to find a way to get to evade death. Essentially, Keke, because essentially to recoup some of that money, they end up taking something that's valuable to a criminal, and now they have to pay that dude more money. So all roads kind of lead to those similar plot points. But even though there's still enough differences in One of Them Days to stand out from Friday. For example, it's more modern, so there's a lot of different nuances, and the dynamic is slightly different, and the adventures are overall different. But the spirit of Friday is in this movie. But I like it. It feels like almost like an homage to that kind of style, because it's like true to the hood. It's, culturally appropriate. It's not even like watered down. It's like, it's really honest. It's absurd, exaggerated, but also very witty and smart at the same time. It's like the perfect mix, perfect blend of those two things. Because you have like really astute moments, mixed with absurdity. Like, for example, Keke in the movie, Keke and SZA, when they first attempts to recoup the money is to go to a loan place. And then Katt Williams, the famous comedian, of course, you know who he is. Katt Williams plays this guy named Lucky, who just stands outside of the Czech Classic place saying, "Don't do it! Don't do it!" Like, it's the devil's money, and that's absurd because that's but it's real because all people like that that's in the hood lurking around. But it's also dropping knowledge because we so quick to take on these loans and they're screwing us in the back door, And the movie is filled in with a lot of some smart stuff. Just the fact of like SZA having a Keshawn in life. Who woman can't relate to having a Keshawn in life? Someone that's good looking, good dick, and use that to skate through life. And then of course at the end, which leads him to taking advantage of poor Maude Apatow, who essentially plays Bethany, this white girl that moves into their complex, which is an all-black complex in the hood. And of course the landlord rolls out the red carpet for them for her. So the landlord rolls out the red carpet for her, but doesn't do the same treatment for the rest of the tenants, and they're all black. So what does that tell you? He's desperate to up the value of his place. He maybe wants to sell it. So moving white people makes his place look good. I don't know. Could be many reasons. But point is that he is actually fixed up her apartment, give her the works, serving her M&M cookies, all this good stuff. He's treating her like a queen, and that's indicative of what's going on in our community with gentrification, moving all the white people into these black neighborhoods and pushing us all out. So it's, again, smart mixed with absurdity because it's so like over the top in your face that it's not that realistic, but it's realistic in a way because the messaging and the meaning is true. And this movie is filled with those kind of moments, which I said makes this movie very smart. Like from SZA dealing with someone like Keshawn, from, tackling themes of gentrification, just also being young and broken, trying to figure yourself out and find a way to make money and not being confident in yourself, because SZA plays this person who's actually a really good artist. And that actually plays a solution to how the movie gets resolved, because she has all these paintings, but she doesn't really sell them. But she rather goes into like 5 different venues and 5 different ventures. Instead of chasing what she knows she really wants to do, because she doesn't really have that kind of confidence in herself. And then you also have the neighborhood person, because Keshawn, of course, is stepping out on SZA, because that's what he does. And it's with this badass chick in the community. She has a big butt. She twerks a lot. She thinks she's that bitch, which she is, and that's one of the main antagonists of the movie, who SZA and Keke have to fight, of course. And those dynamics, even though the movie's a little exaggerated, it's buyable because it just reminds you of like this internet culture, about just the energy that a lot of these Instagram models give off, like I'm that bitch, blah blah. And then of course, like just in the hood, you have a whole bunch of fighting videos, knocking people out, And that's kind of what those scenes with her and fighting against Keke and SZA kind of gave me. You cut the last like 3-4 minutes out, honestly. Instead of going back and forth. What's I have to say about this? Yeah. Oh, and also, not only we have physical humor, we have witty humor. You also get a bunch of very exciting action sequences, essentially, like when King Lolo finally decides to confront them at the apartment complex. That leads to this kind of like shootout / fight scene that leads up to the apartment and a burnt down apartment. So you have a whole bunch of different aspects to this movie, and that was really filmed very entertainingly. And also had a good moment at the end of it where they decided to they could have let King Lolo die, but then they decide to let him live. As a sense of like morality, like it isn't right that we let him go. Even though I feel that SZA, but which makes the characters good, is that she really the Smokey character in the fact that she causes all the turmoil for Keke. She literally everything that happens in the movie is a result of her actions, from trusting her boyfriend to doing a whole bunch of other dumb shit, like not giving up the money to King Lolo to save their lives, and a whole bunch of other shit. That leads to a bunch of bad choices, messing up Keke's interview to become a franchise manager because she decided to post a picture of where she was at. So now the big booty chick that Keshawn was messing with can find them and cause a huge scene. So spoilers, obviously. There's always been spoilers. But yeah, this is like all the different things that I think this movie really contains. It's entertaining. It's smart. It's witty. So I feel One of Them Days captures the culture in a very interesting way. It also shows us in our negative light, but also in our positive light at the same time. We dig ourselves into holes, but we find a way to pull ourselves out. It also tackles the things that we're facing within the community, within the hood, but also shows that we also have a lot of spirit. So it's a little bit of stereotypical in the representation, but all that stuff is common in the hood to how we think, to how we move. It also was being sensationalized in culture as well, but it also captures our strength as well, and it's also just, for the best part, entertaining. So this movie is so worth the watch, man. If you're a fan of like movies like Friday, this is it. This is great. Essentially the female Friday. So I'll say my score for this movie, honestly, 95. For what it is, for what it's trying to do, it hits all the notes. It's entertaining. It's exciting. It's smart. It's witty. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. All the above. So that concludes our video for today. Let us know, because I'm the one that's specifically doing this video. Let me know in the comments what you think. You like this? You think it's worth it? I think this movie deserves to make a lot more money than it's making right now. It's doing well, but I want it to do really well. It deserves it. I know it's cold outside. I know, I get it. Strap on a coat. Hopefully you have a car you could drive, or take the train. Don't be a bitch. Get in the theater, see this. Or at least if it comes out on streaming, stream the fuck out of it. It deserves it. Good start to hopefully a good year. There's a lot of the movies out there that I'm excited to cover and watch. A lot of movies this month, so let's see. Later, guys. Catch you next video.